Hello? Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for being here today. We are going to get started in just a few minutes, but for right now, I would like to introduce you to your Antelope Valley Queens.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Aubrey Angeles, and I'm your Teen Miss Antelope Valley. Thank you.
Good morning, my name is Peyton Shields. I'm your Young Miss Antelope Valley 2024. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Natalie Rosas and I'm Little Miss Antelope Valley 2024. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Millie. I'm Tiny Miss Antelope Valley, and thank you for coming.
What do you call a sleeping bull? A bulldozer.
Why didn't the skeleton cross the road? Because he didn't have the guts.
Why did the cookie go to the doctor? Because he felt crummy.
What do you call twin witches? Twitches.
Why do cows have hooves and not feet? Because they lactose.
Welcome, everyone. We're in Lancaster, and before we start a meeting in Lancaster, we always pray. So I have Chris Johnson here to start the meeting off.
This certainly is an exciting day for our valley. Amen? We're excited to kind of kick off this amazing structure that's going to be built that will serve as a shelter for sporting activities, for graduations, and for so many other things, obviously. But what that brings to mind is Psalm 91, and it says this: "He who dwells in the shelter of the Most High will abide in the shadow of the Almighty. I will say to the Lord, my refuge and my fortress, my God, in whom I trust." Let's pray together. Father, we do come today grateful for this valley, thankful for the opportunity for this building to be built. Lord, I pray that it would provide great shelter for many activities, for times of emergency. But Lord, ultimately we are reminded that you are our shelter, that you are our protection, and we put our trust and our hope in you. We can say as a community, in God we trust. In Jesus' name, amen.
And now for the flag salute, Lauren Hughes Leslie. Flag salute.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Just last week, we all gathered here to celebrate the 4th of July. And like we acknowledged and we celebrated, freedom is not free. And we are thankful for all those who have and continue to protect our freedoms. So please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Place your hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, it's a wonderful day in the Antelope Valley. And instead of saying Lancaster, I say the Antelope Valley because we have so many partners that are coming together for this. And we're going to try to get it back on track. And with that, would you like to take over?
Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed partners and members of our community, thank you for joining us on this momentous occasion as we break ground on the MARRC. This project, which includes a 7,500 square foot kitchen, is a testament to our community's resilience, innovation, and commitment to adapting to the changing needs of our environment and our society. As president of the Antelope Valley Fair Association, it is my distinct honor to introduce this incredible venture as the Karen Ross Community Kitchen. This building represents more than just a new facility. It is a symbol of our dedication to serving and uplifting our community through sustainable practices and forward-thinking solutions. We owe a great debt of gratitude to Secretary Karen Ross and Deputy Secretary Michael Flores, of the California Department of Food and Agriculture. Their support and tireless efforts have been instrumental in bringing this vision to life. Through their leadership, the CDFA has not only supported this project, but has also worked diligently to position California fairs as essential community hubs capable of addressing and adapting to community challenges, especially during emergencies. Secretary Ross and Deputy Secretary Flores have championed the importance of fairgrounds in our state, recognizing their potential to serve as centers of community engagement, education, and sustainable development. Their commitment has ensured that our fairs can continue to thrive and support their communities in meaningful ways. The Karen Ross Community Kitchen will be a beacon of their vision, providing a space for education, innovation, and collaboration. It will empower our community with the tools and knowledge to embrace sustainable food practices and address the impacts of climate change. This facility will serve as a model for other communities, demonstrating what is possible when we come together with a shared purpose. Thank you, Secretary Ross, and thank you, Deputy Secretary Flores, for your leadership and dedication. Your contributions have been invaluable, and we are deeply grateful for your support. Today, as we break ground on this new complex, we look forward to the many ways it will enrich our community and inspire positive growth. May the Karen Ross Community Kitchen be the heart of our fairgrounds and the MARRC be the heart of our community. Thank you.
Angie Hughes did a great job. Let's give her another hand. Okay, you can see here that we've set it up a little different than most places. We've set it up, the Paris family is over here, the state people are over here, dignitaries and dignitaries. We did it this way so we can show just how many people have dedicated their lives to get this building built. And it's important to us to acknowledge every one of them. So first of all, I'd like to acknowledge the Paris family, RX Paris. Carol Paris. Rob Paris. Rucker Paris. Kale Paris. Alicia Paris. Bill Paris. And Ashley Paris. We could fill the whole building up with just Paris's. The 50th DAA, which is one of the boards at the fairgrounds. It's President Felipe Reina. Let's hold our applause till we're all done so we can get out of here before it's 113. Vice President Ron Emard, Director Bob Forche, Director Sandy Smith, Director Danita Wynn, Director Michael Dutton, Director Erica Rowe, and Director Miguel Sanchez. Let's give them a big hand. From the state of California, Andrea, you want to come over here and sit with the city of Palmdale? I saw her sneak in. So, Michael Flores, he is the Deputy Secretary of Food and Ag. So he is the big dog, and he is the guy that presented us with over a $20 million check for this. So Michael, can you stand up so we can give you a big hand? So Assemblyman Tom Lackey sent Carlo Basile. Senator Scott Wilk, District Director Donna Hill. And my understanding is Juan Carrillo is supposed to be here? Okay. And we have to say thank you to LA County Supervisor Catherine Barger, because the county put in $13 million for this facility. We'll start with the Lancaster City Council. Mayor R.X. Paris. Vice Mayor Marvin Christ, that's me. Councilman Ken Mann. Councilman Raj Mali. Councilwoman Lauren Hughes Leslie. We just changed their titles. So the CEO of the City of Lancaster, Jason Cottle. City Manager, Trolise Miebla. Palmdale City Council. Mayor, Austin Bishop. Mayor Pro Tem, Richard Loa. Councilman, Eric Olson. Councilwoman, Andrea Alarcon. Assistant City Manager, Sal Mendez. And Deputy City Manager, Nardi Lopez. Special thanks to the City of Palmdale. They put in $10 million. The Antelope Valley High School School District, President Charlie Hughes. Vice President Carla Corona. The Clerk, Miguel Sanchez IV. Trustee Jill McGrady. Trustee Danita Wynn. And Superintendent Greg Meehan. Special thanks to the Antelope Valley School District. They put in $10 million. The Antelope Valley Joint Powers Authority. Chairman Marvin Christ. Vice Chair Rob Paris. Board Member Johnny Zamerla. Board Member Ron Emard. Board Member Richard Loa. And Board Member Lauren Hughes Leslie. The JPA didn't put in anything. The Antelope Valley Fair Association. They're the ones with the vests. It used to be the 50th was green and red, but now we've combined them to show unity amongst all of us. So we're starting there. President Angie Hughes. Vice President Gus Camacho. Director Ron Emard. Director Howard Harris. Director Newton Shillette. Director Drew Mercy. Director Gary Van Dam. Director Debbie Dino. So when you guys go next door and have some food, you'll see flowers. Those are from Debbie Dino and her group. They were in here yesterday. Director Kathy McLaren. Director Brandon Calandri. And Director Rosemary Mann. The CEO of the fair is Dan Jacobs. And the assistant fair manager is Jennifer Moran. We also have another board. It's called the Friends of the Fair. The chairman, Rob Paris. President, Raj Mali. Director, John Blaylock. Director, Maureen Nees. Director, Jack Cephas. Director, Becky Bartlett. Director, Mark Bozigan. And Director, Rick, is it Borg? That's what I said. We have to recognize the unions. The unions have been a good partner to be with and a good partner throughout the entire valley. They are changing the valley. They're doing things. We no longer have what they call PLAs. We have community workforce agreements. And that's something that Rob, Drew Mercy, and Rex put together so the Republicans could say the same thing was good. It's a true story. So I'd like to recognize some of the union bosses. Dave Gomez, IBEW. Chris Mendoza, Industrial Business Representative. Mitch Klein, Business Agent for the Antelope Valley. Danny Osborne, Business Agents for the Orange County Iron Workers. Renee Palisha, the Business Agent for San Gabriel and Antelope Valley Iron Workers. James Mendenhall, representative of the operating engineers. Marco Hernandez, business agent, local 300. Ivan Rascon, business agent, local 300. Chris Gonzalez, business representative, sheet metal workers, local I 105. Don Wilson, director of plumbing services for District Council 16. Ed Redon, principal, Southern California Advocacy, LLC. And Eric Tate, treasurer for the Teamsters. Haven't seen Eric for a while. He is one of our partners at AVTA. So, why are we here? You're going to have to excuse me because there's going to be a lot of slides and a lot of information. So if they get out of order, it's Rex's fault. we have a thing that we can blame each other, and he usually blames me. But Eddie Alvarez, I told you she would start. So, we're going to start that with the core. That's the Paris family, the core of the Paris family. And it's the only picture I had up till 4:30 yesterday, so we'll have to do with it. But I'm going to start with Carol. Carol, to this valley, you're the core. You're something that everybody looks up to. You're something that we respect. You are the matriarch of the family. We all recognize that. And when we all do something, we don't have to ask Rex, we ask you. She holds everyone accountable to what they're supposed to be doing, and she runs the best law firm in the country. I know this because my son's a member of it for 13 years. And most importantly, she's the single person that can keep Rex in check. Rob Paris. I've known Rob, and Rex for a little over 50 years. We played high school football together. Not Rex. Rex wasn't into any sports. Rob was. Rob and me were in Pop Warner football together, which was a very, very interesting thing. Rob was involved with the livestock auction at the fair for a younger age. And I'm showing you, and I'm trying to explain to everybody why we're naming this facility, this complex, the Paris Center. So let's give him a big hand for that. I told you I'd miss a few things. Okay, but Rob was a little different. At every place I went, there was Rob. I try not to use the word lurking, but Rob was there. He was there, and I got to worrying about him, and I'm thinking, where's he going to get a job? California Highway Patrol. That's supposed to be funny. Okay? Rob went on to become a captain at the California Highway Patrol, and he went on to be an attorney. Then he went on to be a reserve sheriff. Rob also serves on the 50th DAA. This is Rob as a California Highway Patrolman. This is Rob as a reserve deputy sheriff. The biggest thing I respected Rob for, he took his mom everywhere. She was an intricate part of this valley. She was a senior, but Jean was always involved in the community, but Rob took her everywhere, and we salute you for that. Now, I wrote some notes on this because we're going to do some things with Rex that hasn't been done before. Okay? And I want to warn everybody, especially Rex, that humor can be used as a vehicle to show dedication. And that's the intent of this. It is not to embarrass anyone, but it's to show the dedication of this man had to the community. But he's always had strange ideas, a lot of strange ideas. They were way out there. Okay. Rex was always involved. Let me go back and I'll explain some of Rex's ideas. I was writing this last night. I thought it would take a while, and it became the top 40 ideas. I had to reduce them down to the top 20. But this is what we've done with Rex and why we love him as our mayor. A.V. Warren gangs. Everyone remember that? Fencing the Mongols out so they couldn't come here in the Antelope Valley. Redoing the boulevard. Reducing crime rate from 478 that this city had to under 300. Rex's favorite, climate change. He wanted us to change all the diesel buses into 100% electric, which we did. He wants to own our own electric company from the city, which he did. He wanted to buy all the street poles so Edison couldn't charge us a monthly rate, which we did. He wanted to put solar on all the city buildings to reduce our cost, which we did. He went to China, took Carol with him, and brought back the largest manufacturer in the US from China. It's BYD. He started the Criminal Justice Commission. He had go-kart racing on the boulevard. He stopped building the power plant because of the things we could do without it. He did the illegal marijuana eradication. Now, what that means is the city of Lancaster went into Lake Los Angeles, took all of our equipment with the city of Palmdale, and we eradicated $1.4 million worth of illegal marijuana. So give him a big hand for that. Fireworks were shut off during COVID. Not with Rex. There's a picture in here. We'll use it. Samaritan's Purse at the hospital, which saved hundreds, if not thousands of lives, that freed up the office space and more rooms inside the hospital. Our crime rate wasn't going down fast enough. He tried to do different things. The city of Lancaster is currently down 70 members of the sheriff department. They're working mandatory 6.5 overtimes a month, which is unreal. So what'd Rex do? He started his own police department. Hydrogen. We are now the hydrogen hub of California, soon to be the hydrogen hub of the United States. He helped unionize the community with different workforce plans throughout the community. All those things he's accomplished. But the last one, he didn't accomplish it. His goal was to put a 110-foot Buddha somewhere in the Antelope Valley. It didn't work. But I want to show you how dedicated he is. This is Rex getting ready to break some doors down. I was there. We tell a different story, but he wanted to break all the doors down, and he wanted to show everybody how it was going to be done, that the mayor can get out there and do it to reduce crime. He needs some applause for that. Rex doesn't realize he's not a spring chicken anymore. This is the next day. Rex is perceived, and he has changed the council. He has changed, that's our police force. That's him shooting the fireworks off. And this was put out there years ago, and it's to change the perception of what people think about Lancaster and their council. He not only changed the perception of the council, but he changed the way it looks. So with that, we love Rex, and we needed something that shows that he's very, very important to not only the Antelope Valley, but to the entire world. So we sent our city manager to Mount Rushmore to see if there's any room for Rex. And unfortunately, there wasn't. However, we've decided to build his Buddha on Quartz Hill Mountain. Look at it, laugh, and have a good time. This is the commitment this man has. Now, who would have thought these two young men would have turned out to be two happy men that turned out to two movers and shakers of the Antelope Valley? But one thing that I see is the most important thing is his love for his wife, Carol. So those are the reasons that I'm going to be fired next week. But to show you the building that we're building and everything, Trelise, where are you at? Trelise is up next.
Good morning, everyone. This is a really big day for the Antelope Valley, so thank you all for being here. Give yourself a round of applause for being here. So I've had the opportunity to work on this project for the last 3 years, and I think I know it is the most important project of my entire career. And the reason I say that is because it is bringing generational resiliency to the Antelope Valley like we've never seen before. So I'm going to briefly talk through how we got here and what the project really is. The first is, here's the building that the Vice Mayor was just talking about. Go take a look at it. You see the name. It is the Paris Center. So why the need for this project? We all know we live up here in the Antelope Valley. We're very geographically isolated. We have an underserved community, and it never became more evident than during the pandemic. We had to take care of ourselves up here. We had to set up our own testing centers, our own field hospitals, and our own mass vaccination site right here at this location. So now more than ever, we need that resiliency. Recognizing that our Lancaster City Council, specifically the mayor and the vice mayor, set us on this vision to create a community resiliency. So with that vision in mind, in May of 2021 at our joint city council meeting, they put this item to create this MARRC facility on that meeting. Both the cities of Lancaster and Palmdale's councils at that meeting voted unanimously to collaborate both financially and make a commitment to see this facility happen. So that sent us on our way. The next step was, where are we going to do it? We looked around, we looked at all the different locations in the Antelope Valley, bare land, other existing locations, but all signs really pointed to the fairgrounds. If you look at this list here that's showing on the PowerPoint, it has all hundreds of millions of dollars of existing infrastructure. It's close to the freeway. It's close to Fox Field if we need to airlift in supplies. It made sense to do it here. Once we had that location, we started designing it. That design was kicked off in February of 2022. And I show you this schedule not so that you read it, just so that you know it's been 2 years in the making of hard work really getting us here that all led to 2 weeks ago to the day. So June 27th was a big day in this project's history. We opened the bids, and they came in lower than the engineer's estimates, and we also sold the bonds, and we sold them for cheaper than we expected. So we are here, we get to build the full facility that we want, and it's a really amazing day. I did want to give a shout out to both Dan Jacobs, the CEO of the fair, and Marisa Diaz, our Public Works Director, who's not here today, but these two led the construction project and got us here to this point, so thank you. And then one more shout out to George Harris, the city's finance director. He was instrumental in leading the bond team to get the financing in place to make this a reality. So thank you both there. So what is this project? It's really 3 buildings that build out this existing facility. The first is the 140,000 square foot event center. This will be a completely multi-purpose facility. So you're looking at the floor plan now. You can see it can hold 8 basketball courts, I believe 16 volleyball courts. I see some pickleball players here in the audience. I think it's 64 pickleball courts that we can do here, but it's a very flexible floor. The other thing I know that the high school district is excited about is the mayor and I had the opportunity to go around and tour and see the robotics tournament that happens at Lancaster High School. When this center opens, we will be able to take all the 40 teams that are on the wait list and get them off the wait list and expand that tournament. So this building is going to be amazing. And when it's not being used for events, within a matter of an hour or less, we will be able to convert it into a 1,000-bed climate-controlled evacuation center, creating that resiliency that we need. This next slide, and I'll kind of get out of the way, it's a minute fly-through that just shows you the architecture and the technology and the really, quite frankly, the massive space that we're bringing into this facility. So this is that main event space here. You can see how large it is. We will have wood floor that we can bring in or take out. We can bring in dirt for dirt events. This is the south wing. You have the restroom area. And event space 2, which this is actually a space that can be used to do smaller events if you don't need the 140,000 square foot area. I think we needed music. Then we have our second building, which is actually our Emergency Operations Center. It doubles as an auditorium. So it will have a 300 to 400 seat capacity seating where we can quickly, in the event of a disaster, we can bring in first responders. They can be briefed quickly. In a matter of 10 to 15 minutes, they're out, they're recovering for the community. When it's not being used as that, it can be split into 2 spaces. So it's a great conference space, a great learning space. It does have a full-blown EOC, which is fully equipped, so that in the event of that disaster, we can call our staff, call all of our partners. They can start showing up in 15 minutes. We will be up, we will be recovering, and as you all know, time is of the essence in these types of scenarios. Again, that just shows off the architecture, the technology being brought into that building. And the last building is the 7,500 square foot Karen Ross Community Kitchen. This kitchen has a full-blown commercial kitchen, which is capable of doing 2,000 meals at a time, both critical for doing events and catering events, but also bringing in and feeding our first responders and evacuees. And then it also has a full-blown commercial kitchen, demonstration kitchen in the front part of it, which is going to be great for partnering with the school district because they'll be able to do culinary classes and things of that nature there. So very good building, very proud of this building. All of this comes in at a meager $85 million, plus or minus. It took all of the partners. You see the contributions. The vice mayor mentioned the different partners in their contributions. It really took us all leaning in, building on this, and to make it happen. So appreciate the partner support in this. The thing I want to point out on this is when we're done, we will have the facility that becomes the heart, the soul, and the brains during the next natural disaster. And I like to read this because it gives you the magnitude and scale of what we're going to have out here. 135 total acres, 250,000 square feet of climate-controlled space, 8,000 parking spaces, 50,000 square foot of barn space for livestock, 85 RV spaces with full hookups, and we can expand that to 500 additional temporary RV spaces, 6 on-site kitchens that can do 9,000 meals a day, and then that on-site emergency operations center that's fully equipped and ready to go in a moment's notice. The last thing also is it will be completely off-grid, and we'll bring up Jason Cottle here in a minute to talk about that more. None of this could have been done without all of the partners here that the Vice Mayor already thanked, but really collaborating, seeing the vision, seeing the priority that we need this resiliency here in the Antelope Valley. So thank you to all the partners. And with that, I'll bring up Jason to talk about the energy side.
Thank you, Trolise, and congratulations. What a wonderful day for the Antelope Valley and an honor to the Paris family. It is well-deserved for the service for this community. You've heard some great attributes about this project. None more impactful than the international level of impact that our energy systems are going to have. The project on the energy side of this is an energy project consists of a $25 million hydrogen microgrid energy management system for the Paris Center with a co-located hydrogen fueling station. Now, what does that mean, right? It means the sun is going to shine on this facility, and we're going to capture all that energy, store it, right, to use at this facility. It's going to be adjacent to a fueling station that is going to be fueling the industry, the next industry of transportation systems with hydrogen. When the sun is not shining, that collected energy and that collected hydrogen be powering this building 24/7 all day long. And most impactful is when there's an emergency and the power is out, this building will still be on. It'll still be fully operational. It'll still be fully engaged to serve the public, regardless of the amount of power. The most amazing part of this, and when we talk about the impact for it from an international perspective, is our mayor's partnership with the Japanese government and Japanese developers has created this impact. It is a result of a partnership with Enzo Infrastructure, who's going to be building and developing the project. TEPCO, which is the largest utility in Japan, will be partnering on this as well. And NATO, which is the New Energy and Industrial Technology Development Organization, will be putting in $15 million of that $25 million to fund this project. This is unheard of, right? The opportunity that the Japanese government is funding this project to explore and explain the new energy transition, and it's happening in Lancaster as a direct result of the mayor's relationships. Thank you, Mayor. It is also a project listed on the statewide ARCHES project. And if you understand hydrogen statewide project, Hydrogen Hub is an ARCHES project. This is a ARCHES project and likely to be the first ARCHES project to break ground, which is another milestone for the city of Lancaster and the state of California. That's the technological side. Let's talk about the impact it's going to have. This will be the first of a kind project to demonstrate that the grid is obsolete. Now let's think about this. That the grid is going to be obsolete with the technologies that are going to be placed in this facility, the tools that are going to be placed at this facility. We will not need the grid to power this facility. That means power and access to energy is truly in the hands of the people and not needed to be given to us by a large agency. And that's huge change in the way the world works. When we are successful in implementing this project, as well as many others we're working on, this building will stand as a beacon of the energy transition, of the way we are powering facilities and transportation that we will see decades ahead. This will be the first and a beacon of that, and it'll prove the way we are going to power the fourth industrial revolution. And what's amazing about this, it's starting here today, and it's starting a result of this man's leadership and the city council's leadership in seeing the vision of what's next and what's going to happen. So take pride in this day. You're going to see some special things happen. So with that, thank you guys very much. I'll turn it over to I think it's the Vice Mayor. Here he is. Thank you, guys.
Now you guys see why we have them as the CEO, both city managers to the city of Lancaster. Let's give them another round of. Now we're going to hear from the state of California, Mr. Michael Flores. Mike.
Well, good morning, everyone. How are you all doing? All right? I would think so. You're very fortunate to have the leadership that you have here. On behalf of Governor Newsom and Secretary Ross, I want to thank you all, and in particular, I know that I tried to get them both here today, but unfortunately they're off doing another event, so they both send their regards. If you'll allow me a couple of moments, I'd like to thank a few folks that I've worked with here and really stand out to me for their leadership. And my first shout out is to Marvin for his vision and his leadership. And I know I also want to thank the Parrish family for all that you do and all the great work that you've done throughout this valley. Angie Hughes for marshaling the resources, her enthusiasm. She goes way beyond. Last night I had dinner with her, and we finished, I think, at 9:30, and she came back to the fairgrounds to continue working to get this thing set up. So it's that kind of volunteerism and leadership, I think, helps make things a lot better, and I congratulate you for doing that. And really, you'll understand why I'm saying this, but I want to thank Charlie Hughes as well and the bold leadership of that board to step in and provide funding, but understand that these community-grade kitchens, as we call them, the secretary is high on these because not only are they used for emergency bases to feed people, but they're also for business incubation and for educational purposes. So he has the vision to see that there's a nexus there, that schools can come in and start culinary programs. God knows we're not all going to be college bound. Some of us need to learn a trade, and trades pay well. They're great. So congrats to you and your board. And I don't want to take too much of your time, but I just want to say that, I need to do a shout out to the 50th DAA as well for their stewardship. And it all started with the District Ag Association, did it not? So Felipe and your group. And I want to talk about a gentleman that I call the Dean of Fairgrounds. He's an institutional marvel, if you will. The guy knows everything about the network of fairgrounds, and I don't think we'd be here today if it wasn't for him, and that's Dan Jacobs. I use Dan an awful lot. He and I are on the phone quite a bit. In fact, in time of crisis, I lean on him. So he's a great guy. But these sorts of projects are critical to the success, the long-term success of community access to fairgrounds. And you know, the one thing that I come to this valley, I've been here quite a few times, and the one thing that I marvel at is the fact that you folks get it done. And if I look behind me, look at all these folks here. I have no idea what affiliation they are, what church they go to. They don't care about that. What they care about is you and getting things done for this community. And to me, that needs to be emulated across the state. If more people look at what you get done here, we'd be much better off in the long run. So if you want to give a round of applause, not to me, not to Secretary Ross, give it to these folks because they deserve all the credit. Look at them. So I'll close with this. I was going to open with this, and I hope you understand because the gentleman said earlier this is a deal. Quite some time ago, it wasn't too long ago, a vice president whispered in the ear to the President of the United States that this was a big deal. Wasn't quite his quote, but this is a big deal. Congratulations to you all. Great job.
Thank you, Michael. And we appreciate that $20 million. Ten years ago, we would never be in the same room as the city of Palmdale. Now there are partners. There are partners in a lot of different things, and we're changing the face of the valley by their partnership and what they do and how they do it. So we salute you guys for having that vision to do that. We're now going to hear from the mayor of Palmdale, Mr. Oscar Bishop.
Thank you, Marvin. It's an absolute pleasure to be here today. And thank you, Marvin, again, for all you've done to get this project to the point where it is. Well, I can't help but feel that an emergency center like this is needed more than ever, especially seeing how we have wildfires in our valley every single day. Every single day I go online or I go outside, I see smoke in the air and extreme heat conditions. So these extreme weather conditions prove the need of why we need this facility more than ever. In addition to that, the extreme weather has made it almost impossible to have community events or plan events. So this really kind of solves a lot of problems, having an event space, an emergency space this large in our community. I really want to thank all the agencies that came together. This part right here, when I walked in, a community coming together, that is really important. Like Marvin said, that wasn't always the case. It took years to come together, and it's very difficult, I got to tell you, to get large amounts of groups of people together to unify and come together on a consensus isn't really the easiest thing. Even as a council of 5, it can be difficult to come to an agreement, but this center right here is a shining example of what can be possible when multiple government agencies come together for the common good of the people. So let's give a round of applause for that. The staff gave me a certificate to present, but really I feel like this belongs to all of us. This belongs to the entire community, so I don't know who to present this to, but I will present it later. But thank you again for being here. It's an honor and a privilege on the behalf of the City of Palmdale. Thank you, community and taxpayer, for making this possible.
Thank you, Austin. Really appreciate you. Appreciate the City of Palmdale and everything that you guys are doing. Just for the record, this money from the City of Lancaster and the City of Palmdale is from Measure AV and Measure LC. So next speaker will be my good friend. He's dynamic, he changes things, and he looks at things in the same way as I do. He wants to make it work. Mr. Charlie Hughes.
Thank you very much for coming. I'm really honored to be here. This is such an amazing partnership between the cities and governmental agencies, the high school board. I want to give a shout out to my superintendent, Greg Nehan. He's the best superintendent in the Valley. Stand up, Greg. What I love about Greg is I'll bring him an idea. He goes, give me a week or two, and I'll let you know the answer. The guy thinks about everything. And when we presented this, he thought about it, and he's like, all right, I can see how this is going to work, and it's going to be amazing for our kids. I know we've had some detractors kind of talking about, well, how does this fit educationally? This is going to be such an amazing event center for us, for the high school district. We're going to be able to do our graduations. Anybody been to a graduation in this valley and maybe it was a little hot, cold, windy, and all the above in 3 different hours? Yes. Imagine coming in here doing that. And then the Karen Ross Culinary Center, amazing. One of our teachers was able to go in there and help design that. So I just want to say thank you to everybody here. This is going to be an amazing facility, and it would never have happened if it wasn't for the state, Michael, and the cities and the community. So thank you very much. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you, Charlie. What a great partner. And now we're going to hear from the mayor of the city of Lancaster and explaining just why this is named the Paris Center. Our mayor, Mayor RX Paris. Get up off your feet. Love you. Love you too. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Am I on? How about now? You all hear me? Good. Thank you. These are my 2 daughters, Alicia and Ashley, who I am extraordinarily proud of. And if you noticed when I was coming in, I was a little bit in a panic. I couldn't find the picture. And that's why you didn't get up there. But
not my day.
You know, this is more than a building we're building. We're literally changing how we power America. And we do it cheaper than Edison or PG&E will ever be able to do. Why? We get it for free from the sun. We don't have to drill 30,000 feet. It just makes sense, right? We now have signed contracts for hydrogen that make hydrogen cheaper than fossil fuels. As soon as people see this building, they see the savings that it's going to create, you're going to see them everywhere. Which just might stop climate extinction. You know, when I first started talking about that 14 years ago, a lot of people laughed and said really nasty things on social media to me. You notice they're not doing that now, as we're seeing the effects of what's coming. It is essential that we show the world there's a better way to do it that will be cost effective and leave a place for our grandchildren. You know, I certainly don't, and Rob certainly doesn't deserve the naming of this building. We don't deserve it. Being the mayor has been an amazing experience for me. I've got to travel the world. I got to meet with people I never thought I could meet with. I got to fake it day after day, like I do this all the time. I'm from Palmdale. I mean, they were new experiences, let's put it that way. And it was not a major sacrifice. But this building should be named Paris. It should be named after the family. It should be named after them. Imagine what it was like to grow up in Lancaster as a Paris. They were under a fishbowl. I would get calls. Carol was jaywalking. People would actually call and tell me that. They were under a fishbowl. And as Carol and I went up in stature, their teachers were reluctant to tell them no. And it could have been very easy for them to turn into something that, well, something we wouldn't have loved as much as we love you. But the reason that didn't happen is because of their mother. Their mother now had to take on the role of not just a mother's discipline, but of a community's discipline. She had to have a different relationship with you because we saw what was happening. You know, public officials know this, that who really pays the price, who really sacrifices, is the families. And it's a huge, huge sacrifice. I have a picture. I don't know that it's going to come up. Can it come up? Okay. That is me and my wife on one of the few vacations we were able to take. And you'll see what I'm doing. I'm talking to the city manager, and she is standing in the rain with me under the Eiffel Tower as I do it. And that was true every single day for 16 years. For 16 years, she had to endure that. I was never really with her because that phone was always there. And we always answered it. We always answered it. I'm really proud that they're naming the building the Paris Center, but they are naming it after you. After you, not after me. And not after Rob, because we loved every minute of it. All it was to you was pain, was embarrassment, there was no payoff in it for you. You know, that picture with me in the hospital was me having brain surgery. And I thought it was really funny because an hour after brain surgery, I'm on the phone to the city manager. But imagine, and I didn't, what it was for her. I was asleep when they did it. I didn't know what they did. She was the one pacing the hall, wondering why it was taking so long. And then when the first thing she sees me, what am I doing? I'm on the phone again. I never really understood. Never really understood. You know, there were more than one time where I would be out in the community with her. One time I was actually pushed into traffic by some crazy person. When that happens to you, it's like, okay, that's macho time, I can deal with that, it's not a big issue. Imagine being the spouse, having to endure that, having to be afraid of that every time you go out. The families of public officials pay an enormous price that is never really honored or valued. The center This center is named after you because you earned it. It's appropriate. Be proud of it. Thank you.
Rob wants to follow that.
Thanks, man.
Rob Paris.
Hi, everybody. And no, I can't follow that, but would everybody stand up real quick? You've been sitting there way too long. And I just want to tell you that my brother Rex and I are incredibly humbled, and thank you. But the reason this happened, and everybody knows it, is because of all of you, and all of you. It would never have happened without everybody in the Antelope Valley coming together to make this happen. All agree? Yeah. And now sit down. We're going to be done in less than a minute, so be patient. I do need to recognize a few more people in this room. I'd like to recognize Drew Mercy, Kathy McLaren, and David Gomez. Stand up if you can, and David Wade. I truly believe that none of this would have happened without this core group getting together. And we talk about all of us as a community coming together. We came together because this group formed what's called the Gap Party. And what is the Gap Party? It is the get-along party. We don't care if you're Democrat, Republican, we don't care what religion you are, we don't care about anything but that you live in the Antelope Valley or anywhere in the world and you want to work together to do good stuff. And this is how all this started. And to you guys, I thank you. We would not be sitting here today without you. And then, most really important, FFA 4-H, would you guys stand up and come up here? Please. Come over here. Over here. We're around here. Oh, you need to get out front. I want to tell you, this is what it's really for. This is what this is all about. I had the good fortune in high school to be in Future Farmers of America at Palmdale. All from Palmdale. And our 4-H. Come out in front a little bit. There you go. This is why we're here. And I truly believe without my involvement in Future Farmers of America and Ag Science at Palmdale High School and Leo Thibault as my advisor, mentor, and friend, I would not be standing here today. And you guys, you're going to take this over pretty soon, and you're getting ready for it by what you're being trained to do. So, thank you. And I told you 1 minute, a few more recognitions. I want to recognize my life partner, Donna Shine, who supports me every day and makes this happen. And then my nephew, Bill, who I spend a lot of time with, and we work together. And obviously, all my nephews, nieces, and you're not my sister-in-law, you're my sister, so thank you. and my work life partners, Sarah Parton, Jasmine Villarta, say hi. And finally, my best friends in the world that have been with me for a long time, John and Karen Blaylock. John and Karen, wave. And with that, I just want to thank you all so much for this incredible honor. Thank you.
Okay, we're done. What we're going to do now, we talked about doing this, and then when we were going to do it in a tent. Can you imagine doing this outside in a tent right now? We were deciding how big it was, how large we would make it. So we decided to move it in. So we're going to do this a little bit differently. We're going to go out and do some pictures of the groundbreaking. But everybody stay inside except for the group that's called. Angie will be in charge. If you've ever seen her mad, you want to be in that group when she calls you. So I'll give you a heads up. Can you take the door up? It will be, first there will be the Paris family, then the city of Lancaster, then the city of Palmdale, the Antelope Valley Union High School District, the Antelope Valley Fair Authority, then the association, then the Friends of the Fair, then the 50th Ag, and then the state of California. And Rex, it's up to you, but if you and Rob would stay out there for all those pictures. And as payment for staying out there, we're going to give you this certificate. So thank you, Austin. We appreciate the certificate. And Angie's in charge, and we're going to go take some pictures. So we stand adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, the Rex family. And next on deck are going to be all the politicians. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, I need one of those. Yeah, thank you so much.
How are you? Lauren.
Everybody in the room, just to remind you guys, there's lunch being served. So please don't leave right away after the photos are taken or after your photos have been taken. Please come and join us for lunch in the back side of the room. Thank you.
Hello. Okay, we need Michael Flores. Okay. The mayor, vice mayor of Lancaster, mayor, vice mayor of Palmdale, the vice president and president of the Friends of the Fair, president, vice president of the 50th district, and the president and the vice president of the high school board. All right. Next on deck is the City of Palmdale, followed by the JPA. So Palmdale City Council and JPA, followed by the AVFA. JPA and Antelope Valley Fair Association. Kathy McLaren. Newt. The Antelope Valley Fair Association. Let's go. Gary Van Dam. Rosemary. Johnny Z, where are you? Join. Rob Paris, where are you? Rob Paris. JPA, Rob Paris. AVFA's next, followed by the 50th District. Antelope Valley Fair Association, followed by the 50th District. If you are on the 50th District, please come outside.
Extremely proud that it's named after the family. Like I said when I talked about it, they deserve it. Me, not so much, but they deserve it. And so, I mean, it's an incredible honor. I mean, I know what this building's going to be. It's not just a building. It changes the world.
When you originally shared this idea on social media, a lot of people giggled at it and thought it wasn't possible, but now this has come to fruition. What do you have to say to those people that need to just believe a little bit more because it's possible here in the city of Lancaster?
Well, what they don't get is I have Marvin. You know, the two of us, you know, I mean, I dream up these crazy ideas, and then he goes and gets it executed. And, you know, he's kind of the unsung hero of all of this. But he was able to put together a group and fund a $140 million building. And we went as far as Japan to get, what, 15 million of it? I mean, it was quite an accomplishment. I've never really seen that before.
This isn't just going to be a space that provides opportunity for high school students to graduate and have proms, but this is going to be a safe zone for many people. With all the wildfires going on, what is this building going to provide for those individuals that are harmed?
Well, there is no crisis now that we can't manage. Not any. Because, you know, it's not tied to the grid. It's self-sustaining, you know. And that's critically important, you know, when you, especially like an earthquake, you know. We can set up as a field hospital. We can do all kinds of things with it. But it gives the community resilience. You know?
Well, Mayor, thank you so much. Appreciate all that you've done. And congratulations again on the name. And thank you for being such a family man, first and foremost.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. Perfect. Thank you.
You look at the camera.
Both. Okay. Guys, we are with our city manager, Jason Cottle, a very influential individual in this project. Jason, how does it feel to make sure that this building is going to be focused on solar power and energy?
Yeah, so what's amazing, we got to build this building from start to finish with the understanding that it's going to be a beacon of solar energy, hydrogen innovation, new technology relates to power. It's just going to be a phenomenal space to teach people, to examples for every building that's built in the future. So it's really exciting to be part of it.
For individuals like me that kind of get a little tense when they hear hydrogen because we don't really know what's going on, what are some key factors that will really benefit the community with hydrogen and solar power?
Yeah, and I think that the fear needs to be waned by the fact that it's essential part of what we need. The demands on our electrical grid, the demands on our electrical system are so great that there's only one tool to solve our climate problems, and that's hydrogen. So we need to understand what it is, we need to understand why we're fearful of it, and be educating our community on why you shouldn't be. Because it is going to be an integral tool of how we solve these problems and how we power our buildings, how we drive our cars, you know, everything we do in society is going to need this molecule and the hydrogen to power it.
Last but not least, this building is meant for making sure we are safe when there's a national disaster, a natural disaster. How does hydrogen and solar power make sure that that's beneficial?
Absolutely. We're not dependent upon the grid, and I think that's key. In some of these earthquakes and emergencies and fires that we've seen, our grid is the first thing to go. The goal with this building is it'll be completely off-grid so that there is no power to go out. Right? It will be on. So if there's something happens in our community, a fire, an earthquake, some loss of power, this space will be powered the entire time, 24/7, whether the sun is shining or not. And that's what's phenomenal about this site as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much, City Manager. Appreciate you, Jason. Lancaster, we're with Vice Mayor Marvin Chris and also the MC of today's event who did an amazing job. Vice Mayor, this has been a thought that has come to fruition after many years and lots of diligence. How does it feel to see this come to life?
I learned how to herd cats today. It was good. It was truly about the entire community coming together. And when I mean the community, that's Palmdale, that's Lancaster, that's the school boards, that's everybody pitching in, the unions, everybody, and what they're doing and what they're showing everybody. We can make it work if we all get along.
You highlighted in today's talking points that this event is really focused on building that bridge between Lancaster and Palmdale. How much partnership has happened to make sure that this project has come complete?
It wasn't necessarily what has happened, it was removing the obstacles that were there to keep it from happening. We removed those obstacles, or they were removed, and it happened naturally. And they're a great group of people. They're doing great for their city, and we're doing great for the community.
Vice Mayor, you have done such diligence to make sure that we receive grants to make this project come to life. What has been the most influential participation of this project?
The one I liked the most was the school district. The school district and the forward thought by Charlie Hughes, his ability to say the kids need to learn they need to learn trades, they need to learn culinary things, they need to learn everything. And with the absence of UAV right now, we need that in the community.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Vice Mayor, for all that you do. Looking forward to the greatness this is going to provide.
Thank you.
Lunch will be served, so you can make your way to the lunch area and grab yourselves a table. Everybody can make their way to the lunch area. We have lunch being served soon. Grab yourselves a table. Yep, the front table is reserved.
Guys, we're with one of my favorite city council members, Ken Mann, always a fun guy. Ken Mann, how does it feel to make sure that our community is going to have such a great space provided for them?
You know, this is probably one of the greatest days. Somebody said, Ken, you've been in the Valley for how long? And obviously a couple of years. But what a great day for all the different organizations to come together. And I think the Vice Mayor said it best when we were talking about 10 years ago, we probably wouldn't have had the city of Palmdale in the room. And again, this is a all-inclusive Antelope Valley project, and I think it's really going to change things for the Antelope Valley. So what a great day.
It is a great day, and something that your family is very passionate about that this will provide is comfort for the 4-H and livestock community. How does that feel for you to know that this is going to be a safe zone for that community?
Oh, I think, again, this is going to propel, I think, from, I had the opportunity to speak in front of the high school board to encourage them to vote positively for the project and do that contribution. And I saw what it could be for the high school. And it wasn't just the 4-H projects, but I'm also thinking, that with this day and age, with robotics being such an integral part of the school system and teaching young men and women what the possibilities are in the future, this is going to give us another place, to be, of all places in the United States, come to the Antelope Valley. So there's so many things that's going to help the youth here.
Well, Kenman, thank you so much for all you do for our next generation. It's very, very, very inspiring.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
How's that?
Lancaster, we're with City Councilwoman Lauren Hughes Leslie. Lauren, this is just such a phenomenal event. And as we saw, your family is so involved. How does it feel to know that your family is pouring into this community to make this possible?
Tiffany, you have to know the feeling as well because your family is also just such an integral part of our community. It feels incredible. It's all the reasons why I was fortunate to be able to move back home. It feels, gosh, like a legacy. It feels like we are sowing the seeds in our community and just for our future. The fact that I'm one of 5 kiddos and my parents are super involved and now I get to be super involved, it feels wonderful. I feel truly blessed to be a part of this community.
Talking about family and kids, a special place that's going to be here is that this is focused on high school graduations. People can be cooled down, not so windy, proms. How does it feel to know that you're going to be such an implemental role in those really formative moments of high school kids' lives?
Oh, it feels wonderful. I myself was an ASB president. My sister Kristen was an ASB president. We loved the memories of planning proms and graduations and be a part of that. When my dad talked about attending graduations in the wind, in the heat, in the cold, he was talking from experience. You know, as one of 5, he has deep experience of attending graduations, and the fact that we now get to have graduations in this facility and proms. We did plan amazing proms, but the ticket prices were really steep, and now that we get to have proms here locally at a more affordable price point, it's just incredible. The potential and the experiences will be wonderful here for our students.
Well, City Councilwoman, thank you so much for all you do. Looking forward to seeing these kids just thrive in high school. Thank you.
Thank you.